You're not going to believe where I am. Yep, here again. There's a very, very little faint bit of the sunset right there. This week has certainly flown by. I can't believe it's Friday already. This time last week, I was sitting in a chippy in Wales with Mum and Dad. That just feels like it was forever ago already. So where did I last leave you off? Wales. In the saga of the window. The other morning, Dad and I, Dad, I think that was Monday morning, put some more sealant along the top of that window with his finger, just grubbed it along, gave it a good soak down with the hose pipe and nothing's come through, so a temporary fix. I do now have some bonding, achieved with the bonding stuff, so we can get and redo that at some point. Take it off, clean it up, try and fit it back in better. There are 9 vans parked along here at the minute, excluding mine. 5 down that way. One of them is that big green box truck that you might have seen in the background a couple of times as I've walked down there. That's not moved at all. It's exactly the same place as it is every time I come up here this summer. And I've never seen anyone there. Never seen any sign of anyone in or out of it. It looks like one might be off behind me at the minute. There's another one up along there. That is an older model of what I've got. The short wheelbase version of it though. Although I didn't check whether it was the Vauxhall version or the Renault version, but it looked nice. And then there's one of those old VW transporters. One of those ones that looks like a bit like a sailboat. Then down there's a few vans. And even further back around down the road, there was 3, maybe 4 that I passed on the way up. I've not seen this many vans up here all summer. So I've not quite managed to park on my usual spot, I don't think. Has he just come, or is he? Yeah, he's just got here. Make that 10 now. I'm surprised how warm it is up here, because the temperature definitely dropped this afternoon. I could tell that when I was out doing my rounds. Started off with a nice blue sky, and quite sunny this morning, warming up, and then it's just a thick layer of cloud rolled in and cooled everything straight back off. But up here at the minute it's pretty mild. There's a very slight breeze, but not much. And I've decided I'm not bothering climbing this evening. I'll take a rest day. I did a dumbbell workout yesterday at the gym that I've felt all day in my legs and arms, which feels quite nice, to be honest. So I think tonight's plan is going to be just reading in the van and relaxing, and then tomorrow morning I might try to head back up for a climb. I might also be meeting up with Emily and Andrew later on, depending on where they go out climbing. Otherwise, I'll probably head up to Mamtor or Bamford Way. Visibility up here is pretty good though. I'm concerned at how blue this footage looks in camera. I may have to adjust that a bit once I get it into DaVinci. It should not be quite that blue. But I think I'm getting the hang of the colour temperatures now. So at the minute, there's not much else to record, so I'm going to leave you with that one for a bit. Don't know how this vlog's going to turn out. Whether this will be followed up by climbing tomorrow, or whether I'll do similar to what I did for last week in Wales. And then I might do, if I do climb, make that video separate. Well, we'll find out one way or another. So, I'll pick you up later. Those flashing orange lights behind me. There's a car that's been sitting there for a bit, well, since I've got here. And it sat there for a bit with its engine idling, and then off and then on. I thought they'd just try and get a bit of heat in there or something. Then I've just seen the RAC van come along, so I guess that's a breakdown. Oh dear. So, now I'm going to have that annoying glaring light for a bit, aren't I? Lovely. And I was just about to read and have a can of cider and some chocolate. Question is that light now going to be distracting enough for when I'm reading? As for what I am reading, it's this. I picked this up back when we were in the Lake District in May, and I'm on page 50. And I don't think... Did I start it up there? No, I started that I think when I got home. So yeah, I've not picked this one up for months, so hopefully I can pick the thread of that one back up again. I don't think that light will be too distracting. Although now that he's here, I really don't see why he needs it on. Whatever, I'm going to read for a bit. I have some music on, not right now. 'Cause even though it's classical, I still don't want to tempt copyright on YouTube. The 50 greatest pieces of classical music played by the London Philharmonic Orchestra. And that was from 23rd of November 2009, that compilation. So, I'm going to go carry on with that for a bit. I might, maybe, put a blanket on. 17 degrees in here. Doing pretty good so far. Oh, it's not that one. It's the keys. Oh. Well, that's a nice bit of mist. And that's some strong wind. It's 8:10. I've just got up and changed. First order of business is going to be breakfast. Excuse me. And then I can think about what second order of business is going to be. Gonna be bacon butty then, I think. Or is it? What have we got in? Or do I do bacon butty for dinner? I'll do bacon butty for dinner. It's going to be cereal. Yeah, that's what I'll go with. I'm just going to tidy this side up a bit first. I think that'd be a good idea. And I'll take the blinds off the back to let some light in. Well, this is brighter than I was expecting. Oh, it's a nice bit of sun behind me, at least. If it weren't so windy, I'd have left them back doors open a bit. There we go. Oh, it's that one. Alright, let's have a look at what today's weather forecast is going to be. Currently 9 degrees outside, 13 inside the van. We should be dry until about 8 o'clock this evening. So that's okay. The next week's not looking great at all, again. Right. Breakfast. Don't have any sultanas in. I am going to be wanting a coffee, so I'll need that. It's the most annoying thing about Weetabix is it's nearly impossible to not make a mess with them. This could well be one of the last proper summer weekends. Well, actually, it's probably more of an autumn weekend by now. Grinder. I don't think I did show you, but during the week, I've moved that box up to there, changed that around a bit. Still got plenty of room down there. I've just put my wedges there for holding stuff back at the minute so it doesn't all slide forward. But I need to tidy that all out and reorganise it at some point. What have I put there? If I head up to the crag, which I'm likely to do, I might also change over to my trousers for my shorts, because this is now a cold wind. I am half tempted to have a lazy weekend in here. No, not in there. In the grinder. Wow. My brain's still waking up. You've got to grind the beans before you can roast them. There's 6 vans excluding mine. Four cars have turned up. I hope that the wind is going to die down a little bit as the sun comes up, and that sun's going to warm the place up a bit more. It is still, though, rather nice up here. Morning. The wind is also coming from behind me, which, since that's roughly where the sun is rising, would be the east. Actually, that's a thought. So that's over there, west. So that'd be north. That's south that way then. I don't think I've ever really given too much thought to the directions here. Let's check the oldie compass. Take a look at that. Can hold it level enough above it. So north is that way. Which means west is that way. Of course west is that way. If you can look out over to Cheshire and Wales, it must be that way. Yeah, my brain's still waking up. I'm going to make coffee, have some breakfast, and I'll pick up with you after that. It is currently 11:50 in the morning. I've just had some dinner. I've had this sweet and sour chicken that was left, used by the 11th of September. We're still in September, I'm sure it'll be fine. For a sweet and sour microwavable, that was actually pretty decent. On the other hand, I don't think I'll be buying them again. If I'm going to keep ready meals and like that, I'd rather have the packs that you can get, like the Expedition packets that you just add water to. It takes up far less room. Even if I do have more fridge space now that I've switched my freezer over to the fridge mode. Anyway, that's that done. I have been up for a climb this morning. That's going to be a separate video, I think, for the sake of time, but also the viewer experience. Not everyone's here for the climbing, not everyone's here for the fan stuff, so I'll keep them two separate as much as I can, at least. What I have noticed is last night, while I was reading, there was this squeaking or something that sounded like there was something out there, and I've noticed it while I've been having my dinner just, and realised what it was. So I came around to check, and it is indeed this here. When the wind catches it, it's just rubbing against the door there. So I think later on, once all of these vehicles have shifted, I'm going to try and move up to my usual spot, just up beyond where that blue and white van is. Because my original thought was, sometime today, head over to Mantor or the reservoir around there, what's it called? Bamford? But I don't feel like it. And I quite like it here. And if I am still here tomorrow morning and the conditions are good, I might try and get another climb in. And I actually slept very, very well last night here. I slept pretty decent in Llangollen actually. Yeah, here last night was very, very nice. So I'll probably do the same thing again tonight. Stay in, read. Oh, turn my microwave off now. My mains power. Oh, that's the other thing. My batteries in here. I'm amazed. I checked them just while the microwave was working and they were at 98%, 98.02%. I know that since I have switched the freezer over, I'm obviously not drawing as much power. But with how cloudy it is out there, I was honestly expecting them to be more like 80 to 85%, not topped up. So I'm happy about that. I'm going to brew myself up a flask of tea to take with me and go for a walk along the top of the Roaches again. Have a quick look, see if I can find the other cover for this. I doubt it, but you never know. There is somewhere around here also an old tank, an army tank. I think that's over Ramshaw way. It's only about 5 minutes drive up the road. What I might do, either today or tomorrow, is go looking for that. Because if I walk along the top of the Roaches, I don't know if I'll film anything. You've seen it plenty of times by now. I don't know if I fancy a longer walk at the minute. I'm not really provisioned for it. I should have chucked a fleece in here. That's something I'm going to have to think about over the next week. Packing this up for autumn and winter climbing and camping. I'm going to give this a little bit more charge because it very nearly ran out on me. It didn't go red, but it was close to it while I was climbing. So I've been charging it while I've been having my dinner. I'll give it a bit more time to try and charge up to full. I do have my spare batteries somewhere though, just in case. In fact, yes I do, I've got them here. In fact, I might just switch one of them over and charge the case with the batteries in. That would make a lot more sense. So I'm going to go do that now. I'm not sure if the cloud's lifting a little bit or if it's brightening up a little bit, the sun. But it's quite nice. Never noticed that before. It's a bit hollow in that one. I think it is lifting. There's quite a good view over that way now. It seems a bit brighter over there and a bit clearer. Of course, it's not going to last because the rain's coming in this evening. was surprised this morning there was no condensation anywhere. I know I've mentioned it once on video this morning. I don't know whether that was for this video or the climbing video. So I'll say it again for this. There was no condensation on the van, none on the grass, no dew or anything. I thought there would be. I thought it'd be a bit cooler this morning than it was. But I guess we didn't get down to the dew point. I half think I should have brought a book or something with me. This would be a nice place to sit and read. I do think I'll have another cuppa before I pick up and go though. It's actually got me wondering whether we're going to be in for a decent sunset this evening. I didn't think we were, but there's little bits of blue trying to peek through the clouds. Of course, there's still plenty of time for it to all roll back in. It's busy today. That's another thing. There's a lot of walkers about here. I've seen a lot going over the hills that way, towards Lod Church. I've seen a couple of groups go along the road. As I've walked down it. A fair few have walked down here. And I can't say I blame them because overall it is a nice day. I don't think there's going to be too many days of this year left like this. It's going to get a cold wind up here. Who's banging down there? Oh, I've got my binoculars in the bag. Yeah, forgot about that. Not going to be the clearest view, but let's see what we can see. Well, I'll see what I can see. You wouldn't get to see any of it, would you? Alrighty then. How far off can we see? Warehouse or factory of some sort. I cannot seem to see Jodrell Bank from here. But that could be because the hill is blocking the view slightly, not because it's misty. It's not deep enough in the mist for that. Someone's got a fire going over in the distance. That's smoke. What is banging? Because that's been going on quite a while. That was going on while I was walking down the roads. I thought that might have been someone hammering something, but I'm not sure now. can't quite tell where exactly it's coming from. If that's a fire, it could be the sound of something combusting. But that's white smoke, so I don't think it is. That's a controlled fire, that one. No idea. I guess though, I'd best move on. Oh, it's only 22 minutes past 1. God, it feels later than that. Oh, we are definitely clearing up over there. That's gone a lot brighter. Anyway, time to move on from this bit. I'm not going to walk and talk because the wind will pick back up once I move from around this rock. So I shall talk later. There's a flock of birds down there. They were all in these trees when I got here. I was going to try and capture them. Oh well, I guess not. This is the back of the Five Clouds by the looks of it. There's a lot of dead trees here. Again, a nice view. And right there, somewhere back there is Jodrell Bank, which turns out I could see before. I was just looking in the wrong place. And I think the cloud lifting helped a little bit, but yeah. Got a good view of that, and I spotted a caravan site along there over in the distance as well, which looked like a nice big site. I'll have to look up where that one is and what it is. These birds aren't going to come back up for me now, are they? See, I took my time getting the camera out because I didn't want to scare them away. Maybe I should have gone a little bit quicker. Oh well. Was a good idea, but didn't work out. I shall therefore carry on. And I've made it back. The clouds, well, it's not as foggy, it's lifted, but it started to thicken up again over there. But there is just about some blue left there. 14:32. So it's 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm at a bit of loss as to what to do now. Kind of hungry. But I have no snacks with me. Could really go for a good pork pie right now. I am wondering whether to head into town and buy something, but I've got food in. If I get really hungry, I'll just have an early tea. Or a second dinner. I could always do some scrambled eggs. I think quite probably I'm just going to end up reading a bit. I mean, it's been a good day. I got some climbing in this morning that I'm happy with. I've just got a walk in. Conditions here are still good. I think I'll be quite happy to just sit and chill in the van for a bit now. Finish off my tea in my flask, I can do that. yeah, that's going to be my plan, I think. I just checked up on some of the boulders up there. The ones not in the lower tier, but that I looked at before for some easy climbs in the boggy area, and it is indeed a bit boggy. If we get a few days like this, where it's reasonably warm and dry, and we don't get too much dew in the night, they might dry up again this year before autumn sets in proper, but I doubt it. So I think those are going to be something to bear in mind for next spring and summer, if I'm still climbing in this area and not moved on by then. Because I was thinking not too long ago, the only crags I've really climbed in is here and Churnet. I know I've done a couple of others with Em and Andrew. Well, that was only like one or two one-offs at different crags towards their way. And there's still a load around here to go out. There's Stanton Moor. There's Ramshaw just around the corner. I've not done anything there yet. There's more to go at Baslow. There's Stanage. There's thingy by the reservoir. Up that way. God, what's it called? Bamford. That's the one. Wow. Yeah, that's all for the future. For now, I think I'm going to enjoy this view a bit with my tea and just read some. I need to get a light sorted for this, reading light, which will also be useful for doing these videos here, so I can shine the light on me a bit. It does get dark in here. In fact, since the wind's died off a bit and there's no one parked right behind me, I'm going to open those back doors for a bit. I'll take my shoes off. I should have done that before I took my shoes off. That's the view it's given me. But the wind is blowing those doors quite a bit, so I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep them open for. I'll give it a few minutes. But other than that, I think, done here. My battery is fully charged. That's 2 ready to go. Awesome. Right, I'll speak to you a bit later on. My usual space up there's opened up, and I was going to move. However, looking at my bubbles here, I'm level left to right. I'm down a little bit at the front, but not too much. On the other hand, if I put it down here, perfectly fine front to back, but way out on this side. Or it could be the carpet that's out. And if I do it back here, I'm near the level there. So I think I'll go with the consensus that I'm pretty much level where I'm at and just stay here. I have, however, just got my penknife and cut those 2 branches that were rubbing against my van off because they were doing my head in for the past hour or so. It's vegetation, it'll grow back. Temperature in here is 15 degrees. It feels colder. Sitting here reading, I've started to freeze a little bit. But then I stand outside and it's reasonably warm. But I do think it's going to be a case of the heating's coming on later. Time currently 15:57, almost 4 o'clock, almost food time. I think I'm going to go for those bacon butties. Got 3 buns left, plenty of bacon. I'll go for that, I think. Still hard to tell what's going on out there, whether it's going to brighten up or not. And there's a bunch of vans parked down at the bottom. I'm going to close this door for a bit now. Try and keep the breeze out a bit. And now I'm in the dark. That's why I need a reading light here. Yeah, I think give it another hour or so before I do some food. And a drink to go with it of something. So I don't have any port or anything either that I could drink. I really need to think about provisioning the van out a little bit. If I get around to it, next week might be a trip to go outdoors, get some of those expedition food pack things. Make sure I've got a couple of them in for just in cases. Maybe pick up a bottle of port or something to keep in the van. I'd be tempted to say whiskey, but I'm not much of a whiskey drinker. Never really have been. Although it could be an acquired taste thing. Bacon's on the go. Last week we did this with the wok, which was a bit big for the jet boil, to be honest. This week I'm doing it with this little saucepan, but unlike the wok, it's not a non-stick one, so a couple of pieces of bacon have already stuck, but I've managed to get them off for now. I've only got 4 rashers as well, so that'll do me 2 buns, which is fine. I won't need the third. I have, however, already thrown the packaging away. Oops. Gotta find something to stick on it. I've got a pack of crisps actually. I can have a crisp bun later on for, you know, second tea. I'm up for seconds. I'm always up for seconds. Unless it's salad, in which case I'm up for real food. See if I can stick you there without you falling over. Would appear not. There we go. Well, I did see about 10 minutes ago that van that was parked up there, the old version of mine, has gone. I think that might have been a climber that I saw head back that way. Wouldn't be surprised. Question is, do I want a hot drink as well? Yes, I do. 16 degrees in here. Oh, it's gone back up a little bit. I should do myself a cup of tea. Let's flip this bacon over. What I didn't realise when I bought it is it's very, very thin bacon. A little bit tissue paper like. And let's get this one in. That'll cook into there somehow. Time is currently 17:20. Just turned. Been quite a nice afternoon, really. Could probably do with a slightly bigger saucepan, but not too much bigger. I was going to need more water for a drink. Now the question is, do I put the bacon on the bun and then put the cheese on top of that, which is grated, or do I try melting it onto the bacon in the pan, which is already messy anyway, so you know, it won't hurt anything there. Try and keep this moving so it doesn't all stick down. I'm just going to stick it on the bun, it'll be easier, and then I'll get the kettle on here. Double function of my cutting board, I can also put the hot kettle or the hot saucepan on that once it's done on here and not damage my surface here. Ah, there goes the blue caddy. Also a different saucepan, a little bit thicker, so it doesn't, you know, burn stuff too easy. I'm assuming I got those crisps off Mum and Dad at some point. Don't remember when. What's my fan on? 20. Let's bump that up to 40. Something I don't do too often, I've opened my side window there, just for while I cook. I think that's done. So what we'll do is switch these. Then serve up the bacon. One thing I can say, even though it's very thin, it is very tasty bacon. Though it's hard for bacon to not be tasty really, isn't it? Dropping on a bit of cheese. Turn the flame up for the kettle. Half tempted to toast the buns now, actually. Now that'll just make a mess trying to turn them over with cheese and stuff in. Forget that. Right. Not got too much fat and stuff in there. I said it before, I'm saying it again. I need some Crocs in the van. Specifically for the van. I also turned the lights on so you've got a bit of view in here, as it might be a bit dark. Get some sauce on some good old HP. And ketchup. Yep, that came out. too fast. That'll be alright. Good. Good. Done with the fan. Kettle's starting to boil. I think we're all pretty much set. I will, before I bin this, wash it out as well, because that'll help to not smell the bin out afterwards, which is the mistake I did last time. That and forgetting it was in there for a week. I'll let that brew and then put some milk in. So whatever the French for bon appetit is. The sun is setting, so I'm going to go for a very short walk beforehand. Feels like it's gone warm again. I don't think it's going to be much of a sunset though, looking at the clouds. Oh, there's another van coming up. Oh, and that one that's like the old version of mine came back as well. I guess whoever it was ran into town for something. Anyway, I'm going to walk along for a bit. Catch up with you later. Oh, it's a little bit clear there. A couple of very small bits of blue sky. Bit of blue there. Those clouds do look like they could be about to burst, mind. It's been a nice day overall. I'm happy with how my climbing session went. Even if it was a bit short. When I walked back along the top, there was a rock that I went to look at, and I just put my hands on to feel out a couple of the holds, and my fingertips just sore. That's gritstone for you, especially if you're not conditioned to it. Because I was thinking of maybe sneaking in a session this evening, but no. Not with that. I put some Rhino skin care cream on to help regrow the skin a bit faster. I may, depending on what it's like tomorrow morning, go up for another go. Or I may just leave it off till next week, although the weather's changing again, so don't know if next week's going to be in outdoors climbing. Unless it's very early in the week, I might get away with it. Public footpath down there. Might have to look into that at some point. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else worth saying, because I don't think I'm going to bother recording today after this. Once I'm back at the van, that'll be it, in for the night, unless something happens. Because it'll be very much like last night. Just some reading with a drink and a bit of chocolate. I do have to say though, from cooking that bacon, just getting my saucepan and stuff out, if I'm on top of the shelf where I've moved that box now, that works a lot better for me, so that'll be staying. Some point this week I'll try and figure out what I'm going to do underneath the bed. Yeah, I've got some projects I want to do in the van. I'm thinking underneath my swivel seat of making like a shoe holder. Not a big one, just something that I could rest my shoes in when I'm in the van, so they're more out of the way and my towel and tea towel aren't hanging onto them. There's that. There's under the bed. I want to get and sort that reading light out. I think that's more important than the LED strips at the minute. I've got plenty of light in there for me. The LED strips, I want them, one, because they'll look cool, two, because I think they'll make the lighting better for this, but that's not a necessity right now. Whereas a reading light kind of is. So that needs to be sorted out. Under the bed needs to be a bit better organised. I've half toyed with the idea of turning my climbing pad, where I have it now down the side of that board that separates off the batteries. I could get that climbing pad across the back, which I didn't do initially because that means that if I ever want to get anything out of the back, I'd have to take the pad out first to then get at anything. But it opens me up about 7-8 inches maybe of usable space on the inside. I'll likely end up keeping it how it is. It's probably the best way to do it overall. But I'll have a play around with that too. Bit of sun poking through there. I currently have the colour temperature on here set at 6000 K. It looks pretty accurate on the screen here, so that should be okay. Oh, some more blue patches coming through. I don't think though this is going to be a whole much of a sunset. Where else was I on the van? I think that's pretty much it. I'm starting to get things mostly where I like them now. Now that I'm using it a bit and going in and out of bits a bit more, I can get more idea of where to put stuff. And things that I would maybe do a bit differently next time. One of the reasons I didn't put gas hobs in there is I didn't want to take up that much space with them. And whilst the camping stove is useful, it's a bit of a pain. The jet boil's easier and more useful because I've got far more control over the flame on that. But still, if I were to do it again, I think I'd put gas stoves in. But I would put them where I currently have my sink and put my sink over onto the other side. I'm not sure whether more towards the front or towards the back, but I think that's what I'd do with it. Although that wouldn't work with the current fridge that I've got in there. So, all in all, I'm happy with the setup. I don't regret anything about it. I could still easily fit a couple of induction heat cookers in there maybe, if I wanted to. I think that's going to be one of those things that may be reliant on how much I use it over the next year and how much of a pain it is to keep putting stuff in and out for cooking. That's something that could conceivably end up being retrofitted. But again, for me, for how I use it at the minute, it's not much of an issue, or really an issue at all. But something I would do just straight into the build next time. Another reason I didn't want to do it is I wanted that big work surface. That's come in handy, that has. We've got a car coming, and he's got a headlight out. That went past an MOT. Video-wise, what we're on. Yesterday's was the vlog setup that I'd use. Next week's videos are already uploaded, just need thumbnails, and I think I've got the following Monday up. And then this will be either the Wednesday or the Friday. And then I've got the climbing video from today to do. And I've actually got another climbing video to do. I've got some clips from from climbs that I did at the wall over the past week. I just need to do the second half of that, which is me watching them, talking through them, and then edit that together. So that's 4 videos I think I've got in the pipeline to edit. So I'm covered pretty well for the next couple of weeks. I am getting a bit more to grips with the editing software as well. Like I've now figured out how to blur specific parts in motion track. And the motion track thing, there's potential there for some interesting stuff that I could do later on down the line. I'm also going to have to start planning out trips like this more, like where I want to go. Maybe hitting up some small towns like Landrillo was nice. Finding little villages and stuff like that that I can show on video. Just explore a bit more of the country. I think I'm going to turn around here. I don't want to walk too far. I've still got the dishes to wash up. And then I think that'll be settled for the night. I'm now walking back into the wind. Yeah, looking at locations that I can explore a bit more, little towns and stuff. As well as doing walks like this. Not just doing it for the video's sake, I mean they are places that I would actually like to explore. Here comes another van. Seen a few VW caddies today. But put a bit more thought into exploring them, like old towns like Landrillo and stuff. I can maybe look up the history of the place a bit more and be able to provide more information in the videos about them. Because I've not looked for a bit, but I know that I've got some viewers. I think most of them are from the UK. It looks like I got a decent amount from the US, but then I've got some that are from like Japan, Indonesia, I think I've had South Korea. So whether that's actually people from there or people using VPNs that are connected to there, I don't know. But I figure if there are people from around there watching, it might be interesting for them to also see little towns and bits of history from over here. I know I said I was going to stay put for the night, and I was. But it looks like, you know, that sort of distance from me. Yeah, there were a load of cars there earlier, so yeah. He ended up parking that close. But it looks like he's set up for the night. I mean, the decent thing to have done when he got back to the van there and saw that there was all that space in front now because everyone's gone, pull forward a bit. Instead I've got him parked right on top of me. So I think I'm just going to frog leap him and put some space between us. Because chances are he's probably going to be alright and not bother me. But we could also have music going for till 10, 11 o'clock in the night or something. Or someone else could park right up behind me and then I'm jammed in. So I am just going to leapfrogging, or I could actually, better still, if I let the handbrake off, I might be able to roll back a little bit. Put some space there. I'm going to do that because rolling back, at least hopefully, won't disturb all of this too much. I won't roll it. I'll start it up because I can at least use the reversing sensors then. Oh, battery's gone red. Second battery of the day. In which case, we'll lock off. Let's just make sure I can see my wing mirror. Alright, the problem with relying on the reversing sensor there is picking up the hedge next to me. There we are. Oh, eek. Ow. Gracefully does it. Right, backed off a few feet. But that doesn't seem to have altered my level at all, so good. I'll be here for the night then. I'll still put the door open, have I? Yep, you. Morning. It is 9:06. I can't remember the last time I got up this late. Must be the change of season. Ooh, right, it sucks. First thing in order I think is going to be some breakfast and a coffee. It rained quite a lot overnight. Happily though, that window hasn't leaked. And here is the magnificent view that I've got today. Looks like a couple of vans have pulled up. Surprisingly, feels quite warm. It is 14 degrees in the van. I'm not sure what it is out there. I've not looked at the weather. 10. But the wind's gone. It was quite windy overnight as well. That's gone. The sun should be breaking out over the next few hours. Cloudy but sunny. And it looks like I might have a dry day or two. I don't know how long I'm going to stay for today. Like I say, I need to have breakfast, do my coffee. I might read for a bit, I might clear off. Oh, they've got a kid. No, that's a car behind them. Yeah, that's not what I thought. Yeah, yesterday I said I backed off from this van. I did. And then there were branches rubbing against the tree again at night and it was annoying me while I was reading. So I took my torch, went out to try and have a look at cutting them. They were big ones, thorny ones. I thought, nah, forget it. Because what I don't noticed is there's a van parked about 2, 3 car lengths behind me. There's a little VW Caddy looking thing. And the guy from this van is down with, I assume, his girlfriend in that van. So I thought I'd pull back up to this one. I saw them picking his stuff up to go down there. So I pulled back up here, clear of the little branches. Right, I think before I do have breakfast, I'm going to clear this up a little bit. Let's open you, let some light in. In fact, actually no, if I open the back doors, there might be some water dripping in off the roof rack into it. Oh, never mind, it'll let some air through. Didn't sleep brilliantly last night. That's probably why it's 9 o'clock and I'm only just getting up. Voila, done. There's my view out the back at the minute. You can just see the base of Hen Cloud. What has just taken me by surprise though is 17 minutes past 9, so it's literally less than 5 minutes since I last showed you outside. That's how much it's cleared up already. And I remember from the photography video I did up here last time how fast it cleared up, which is why I've learnt from that not to take off straight away. Because give it another half hour or so, it could go quite sunny here and lift quite fast, which also happened in Llangollen a bit last weekend. Not Llangollen, Landrillo. I have a feeling that I said the wrong one on the video as well. Oops. Right, I'm about to grind some coffee beans, and that's my last of that tub. I've got another pack I can open that I think's been in for about 6 months or so now. I started drinking as much coffee in the mornings because I wasn't going into work quite as early because I couldn't be bothered. Get there early enough to make myself a coffee. I also found another pack of tea bags in here. Not that, that's my chai. In this one, and realised I've got some green tea in here still. So I'll start getting through them soon as well. And I'll look at ordering some coffee and tea at some point. Nothing immediate for that. But there's a place that I've had coffee from before that I got some for my brother and granddad last Christmas. Yeah, I got them like a World Coffee Taster Starter Pack from a proper coffee place. So I'll be looking at ordering from there, or maybe even making a trip up to there in the van for a weekend. And I've actually been to their shop. Well, that's up near the Lake District. We'll see. Plenty of time left in the year. I'm going to get on with my coffee because I feel like I need it. Probably sound like I need it. Yeah, I can see the roaches at the top. Behind a very, very thin layer of cloud. Hen cloud's cleaned right up. I can see the peak now. Bits of blue breaking through there. And about half a dozen trad climbers gearing up to go up by the looks of it. Colour temperature is currently on 5,100K, which looked okay in the van. Doesn't look too bad at the minute for here either. There you go. Cleared up already. That should be enough water in the kettle. What I need is a paper filter. Putting both of those boxes up there has given me a handy place to put the camera as well. Looks like that should be a good angle. Right. As much as I like the hand grinder, it is a bit of a pain every morning having to do that. Although it does mean you can hold on to the beans for longer. Because once it's ground, you kind of want to use them fairly rapidly. But I may borrow Dad's electronic grinder later when I get home and grind my beans that I've got ready to just straighten and use. But won't object to every now and then having beans that I need to grind. Looks like it's going to be another busy day up here. It's already pretty much full. Coffee's in, ready to go. I've got water in the kettle. All I need to sort out next is cereal. That's clean enough to be binned. Put the grinder away before I do out else. Nope, I want that. Because I want that. I've put my other bowl away as well, haven't I? Yes, I have. I did a good job on that one. And that is the last of my Lion Bar cereal. I think I'll stay off that one for a few months now. It's nice, very, very nice. Tad on the expensive side. What I will do is keep some porridge in here. It's a thought that I had yesterday. Now that I've got the microwave, I can nice and quickly do up some porridge. Right. Oh, there we go. Kettle is on. Can feel the heat from that already. This dude's going to try and get in behind me, isn't he? And my doors are open. Yeah, mate, there was no chance of that. Even my brother's car would struggle to get in that gap there. I think what I shall do in the near future is do a comparison between my camping stove that I've had for the past couple of years. Well, not this particular one because this is my second one, but a comparison between that and the jet boil. Not in the normal which is better kind of thing, but in terms of my particular setup of not having fitted stoves in here, the use case of which one versus which when. because this camping stove is still quite handy and does have its advantages over the jet boil. So I think that might be worth a talk about at some point. That was just enough water for that. Right, I need to put the Weetabix back in the cupboard. I'll do that after. I am going to have my breakfast. I'm also going to open those back doors again first because I quite liked having some light coming in there.
When you've got 2 wet leaves up off the grass, you get the lawnmower out.
So I'll pick you back up in a bit. I won't open those doors again because this imbecile decided he can squeeze his car in right behind me. So there's no room to open the doors. So getting out of here is going to be interesting, isn't it? Good job I'm not coming back with my bouldering pad and needing to put that back in the van or anything. I reckon I can still manoeuvre my way out of this spot though. I've been in tighter. And it looks like that couple in that little van back there are maybe getting ready to pack up and go anyway. So if he goes in front of me, that'll give me plenty of room anyway. I can pull forward a little bit if I'm going to stay longer, or just go. I've not decided yet what I'm doing. I am for the time being not going to put shorts up on this channel. Because whilst they by far pull in the most views, I've noticed that my actual videos aren't pulling in, even the climbing ones, the numbers that they used to. And I'm wondering whether because I'm pushing out shorts, that's doing something with the algorithm. It's kind of prioritising them over my actual content. Because it shows that there's more engagement with them because they get 1,000 or so views. So they get pushed more compared to my videos that get about 12 views lately. And then creep up a little bit. But that would register as less engagement, so they won't get pushed as much by the algorithm. So I'm backing off the shorts for now. Seeing if that'll push my numbers on the videos back up a bit. My Wales trip videos still seem to be doing well, the Criccieth ones. They still get watched a couple of times a week by the looks of it, which is good. It is really brightening up out there now. Right, I'll finish my coffee. Then I'll see to these few dishes that I've got to do, breakfast dishes. And then decide if I'm going to go for a short walk or not. I don't think I'm going to climb today. 2 days in a row on gritstone. When you're not conditioned to it. And the weather for Monday and Tuesday looks good, so I'll probably be back beginning of next week. Anyway, you enjoy that view for a few seconds. "9:58. I've been up for just a few minutes over an hour. Dishes all done. Cleared up nicely out there, look you. What's also surprised me is I've checked up on my batteries. They are at 91.81% and are currently drawing in 44 watts of solar power, which is good. It reckons 4 hours 6 minutes till full charge. That's not bad. It helps that I've no longer got the freezer running as a freezer, so that's not drawing anywhere near as much power as it needs as a fridge. I think that's also why I slept better night before last. It's a lot quieter now that it's not a freezer as well, when it kicks in. And it's not having to kick in as often to keep that temperature down. Well, I know I'm going to have to go within the next couple of hours, but I'm not quite ready to go just yet. I don't know where I'd walk to though. I don't want to go up on the Roaches again. No, particularly along that road. I could walk down the road the other way. Not that there's anything really down there. Or I could do a walk when I get home. You know what, I think I'm going to have a walk up that way and have a little nosy at what vans are still there or have come. And then walk back down the road the other way. Yeah, let's go for that. And I've still got about 45 minutes or so on this memory card, so I'll take you with me. Alrighty then, there's the older version of mine. Which is looking in decent nick as well. Bit shorter, but decent. There's the green box truck that's been here forever. Still never seen anyone go in or out or anything. There's one of those cool old transporters. Always like the look of them. A motorhome and a couple of other vans. Right, let's go walk down the other way. A few vans up here. Not sure that one's a camper. It's an old looking VW transporter. Riding a bit low. Someone's Vivaro, that looks nice. I like what they've done with the back door. With the wooden slats on the back. They've done a neat job on that by the looks of it. That Ducato. That blue and white VW was there before I got here on Friday. It's an old BT open reach van. And that's a Ford Transit Custom. Then there's the transport in front of me, there's me, the Kangoo down there and a bunch of cars. That's it for up to this spot at the minute. I'll keep walking and pick you up a bit further down. Here's another potential photo of that tree with a little bit of the hill and the wall there. And then the reservoir in the background. Of course, now that I've turned the camera on, the light has just gone off it. But it did look nice. If I come a bit further along here, I can get the tree and the reservoir closer together and still have the shape of the hill. I quite like the idea of that. Especially this time of day when you've got that lighting on it of the sunrise. Sun's just up over there. Ah, it's going back out a little bit now. It's putting some nice light on that. And it might be worth checking it out one day at sunset, see what the lights are like then. And that little bit of shrub on the right of the hill there as well. I'm going to try and grab a quick shot of that on this. And then I'll keep walking. So with a bit of luck, I might, if I get something that I like and remember to, throw that shot in here to give you an idea of what I'm thinking. House for sale. Building and land, 119.25 acres approx. Windygates Hall Farm. I suspect that may be just a tad out of my price range. 10 quid. But I bet it would be nice living around here. Maybe a bit less so when it's really windy and rainy, but having the Roaches right on your doorstep for climbing, that'd be great. In fact, I might pick that over living down by Churnet. Both get busy with people. I think this is more of a tourist destination though. But yeah, I think I'd pick living up here rather than living down in Alton. Both of them far out of my price range though. What if there's a shot that could be made through here? Nah, not really. Let's move on. Coming up now to Roaches Hall. I've only actually walked down this bit of road once before. We've got a public footpath along here as well, which I imagine is going to take you up onto Hen Cloud there. We'll have to do that one day. Maybe next summer. Spring or summer, maybe. Or possibly an autumn walk if we get rained off climbing. One thing that I have noticed this weekend is the sheer number of people that walk on the wrong side of the road. You walk on the right, you walk into oncoming traffic. Not literally into oncoming traffic, but the direction of. Nearly everybody's on the wrong side. But how is that for a view? We are parked, I don't know if I could point it out on the screen here, somewhere just about there. Don't knock the camera. With the reservoir just down there. I'm not sure, but that may have been a bunch of women on the way up because all of those were women drivers of about the same age. Right, I'm down to about 50% battery and about half an hour of time on this card, so I'm not going to record too much because I don't think there's a whole lot down here to record at this point. Less fans down this way than I expected. Yeah, I'll turn around a bit later and pick up then. I didn't go a whole lot further in the end. Went down to the car park. There's a field that the owners there offer as a car park for £5 for the whole day, which is pretty good considering the amount of walking and climbing there is around here. Then I came back and those 5 or 6 cars that were clearly the women's group all went back down the other way. And then not too long after that, the VW van that was up here with the bluey green teal bottom half, that went past me, so he's gone. His space has already been taken. And I've just looked up on my batteries, the van batteries. 91.81% charge, charging at 10.36 amps. And my solar at the minute is pulling in 129, just dropped to 128 watts. So that's end of September, predominantly cloudy. There's some good blue there now, but I'd still say predominantly cloudy. And it's still managing to pull in almost half of its capacity. 1 hour 36 to full charge. And it's currently 10:52, so it's not even the peak of the day yet. Which, that is pretty damn good. I'm in absolutely no hurry to go at the minute, so I think what I'm going to do is make myself a drink of juice or something, and then read the last chapter of this. Not just randomly, I am on the last chapter. Yeah, I think I'll finish this off, then go. Because I'm not ready to leave this quite yet. I just wish I could open the back doors properly, but because that Muppet's parked right on top of me, I can't. That would allow some more light and air in. This weekend, weather-wise, it turned out a hell of a lot better than it initially predicted. So I hope that holds true for the next week. I did manage to open that one door after all. I've got about an inch in it. And that little van that was down there behind me went, and I'm guessing it wasn't a couple from this van after all. That's in front of me. Because they came back not too long ago, had some dinner, and have gone off again. But there was no sign of them last night. I saw someone gathering stuff out of that van, then disappeared, so I'm guessing they went off for a walk or something. No idea. But not what I thought was going on there. So the time currently is 12:40. It's very, very nice up here. And I'm sorely tempted to stay up here all afternoon. I'd stay up here all week if I could. Someone's got a fire going down there. But I do think it is time to get going. Oh, it is nice and sunny. Yeah, I'm not going to do any walking today or any climbing. It's going to be a rest day. So we'll turn this seat around. There we go. The fridge is all locked up and away. Everything else is put away. Oh, the view's cleared up nicely up there. So this is it from this Roaches trip. Hopefully you found that all enjoyable. I sure did. I don't exactly know what's going to be in this video, to be honest. I know the climbing stuff's going to be separate. I don't know how long I was recording that for. But to be down to half an hour left on the card out of, I think it's usually 2 hours 40. I must have recorded a fair bit of summit, so I don't know how long this video is going to be either. And we're in, all locked up. As I think I've said already, I'll likely be back here tomorrow or Tuesday for a climb. I'm thinking at the minute probably Tuesday. We'll keep an eye on the weather, see how that all goes. But other than that, this is going to be the end for this video. So, do the usual, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment, subscribe if you want more. And as always, thank you for watching.